The all-new 2027 Chevrolet Silverado 2027 is about to flip the truck world upside down with a plug-in hybrid powertrain, a ground-up redesign, and capability numbers so far ahead of the current model that rivals are already scrambling to catch up. If you've been holding off on a new truck because nothing on the market feels like a true leap forward, what Chevrolet is building here might finally be worth the wait. Most truck buyers assume that adding a hybrid system means giving something up. Less towing, less power, more compromise. But the 2027 Silverado is arriving with a 14,000-pound towing barrier, a brand new V8 family, and a plug-in hybrid setup that doesn't ask you to sacrifice a single thing. Let's check it out. Next generation coming. 8 years is a long time in the truck business, and that's exactly how long the current Silverado generation has been carrying the load. General Motors is pulling the trigger on a full-scale redesign, not a refresh, not a mid-cycle update, but a ground-up overhaul of the kind GM rarely delivers all at once. Changes are hitting every major area of this truck. Simultaneously, the exterior is getting a sharper, more aggressive direction. The interior is finally receiving the premium treatment that buyers at this price point have been expecting for years. The powertrain options are expanding in ways nobody predicted just a few years ago, and towing and payload figures are climbing in a meaningful way. Each of these updates is big enough to stand on its own, and that's exactly how this video is going to handle them. But of all the changes coming with this redesign, one is going to stand out the most because it's something GM once said it was stepping away from. Back to electrification. The history of GM and electrification has not been a clean, straight line. A few years ago, the plan seemed clear: pivot the entire full-size truck lineup toward battery electric vehicles and leave combustion behind. EV adoption slowed, consumer demand didn't match expectations, and the all-in electric strategy suddenly looked far less sustainable than it did on paper. Think about what most Silverado buyers actually deal with every week: long commutes, heavy loads, hauling equipment across job sites or state lines, and a fuel bill that keeps climbing. A full battery electric truck introduces real challenges for anyone operating beyond the reach of charging infrastructure. What this type of buyer has really been asking for is something more practical, and that's exactly what GM is now delivering. The 2027 Silverado is going to offer a true plug-in hybrid powertrain, not a mild hybrid setup that barely nudges fuel economy. This is a full system built for real-world performance and genuine electric capability. The new V8 engines are confirmed to integrate hybrid and plug-in hybrid technology, with GM backing the entire program with an $888 million investment at its Tonawanda propulsion plant in New York. Count on a plug-in hybrid Silverado that delivers strong acceleration, serious towing muscle, and efficiency numbers that could completely change the conversation around what a full-size truck can do. The powertrain story is compelling, but a truck that works this hard also needs to look the part. And what Chevrolet is doing with the exterior is something buyers won't expect. All new look. The new exterior is bolder, more upright, and noticeably more chiseled. It's a design evolution that replaces the current generation's softer lines with sharper, more aggressive geometry. Up front, the headlights are adopting C-shaped LED signatures, drawing clear inspiration from the refreshed Chevrolet Tahoe and Chevrolet Suburban. A thin LED strip runs across the upper portion of the unit, while the C-shaped element wraps around the main lamp below. The grille remains wide and imposing, with Chevrolet's bow tie badge sitting on a horizontal bar bisecting the headlight cluster. The hood is getting twin humps rising on either side of a lowered central channel, a shape that signals engine performance before anyone even opens the hood. Moving rearward, the taillights are growing significantly longer, stretching further into the bedsides in a way that echoes the Silverado EV's rear-end treatment, while the bumper's integrated corner steps are carrying over but becoming wider. This is a truck that's going to have more presence and a more intentional stance, and that's exactly what buyers in this segment respond to. The outside is a serious upgrade, but the bigger surprise might be waiting on the inside, because the current Silverado's cabin has been a weak point for long enough that GM has no choice but to get this right. Redesigned cabin. The current Silverado's interior has faced real criticism, particularly in upper trims where pricing suggests refinement that the cabin doesn't always deliver. That criticism is about to disappear. There's a specific frustration that comes with spending $50,000 or $60,000 on a truck and finding switchgear and surfaces that feel like they belong in something half the price. Buyers at this level are increasingly comparing against rivals that arrive with genuinely premium interiors, and closing that gap has become a matter of survival for Chevrolet. The centerpiece is a display running from behind the steering wheel all the way across the dashboard, mirroring the 33-inch curved display currently found in Cadillac models, with a gauge cluster and infotainment interface united under a single continuous piece of glass. A column-mounted digital precision shift selector frees up center console space for storage and dual inductive charging. The steering wheel is getting thicker, with integrated audio and driver assistance controls, while Super Cruise hands-free driving assistance continues as an available feature. Beyond the screens, materials, build quality, and seat comfort are all receiving comprehensive upgrades across every trim level. This is shaping up to be the Silverado interior that the segment has been waiting for. A premium interior matters, but none of it changes what this truck can actually pull, and the new generation is pushing into territory the current model simply couldn't reach: improved towing and payload capacity. In the full-size truck world, capability numbers aren't secondary, they're everything. The 2027 Silverado is bringing real improvements to both towing and payload. Anyone who's pulled a fifth-wheel camper or heavy equipment trailer knows what it feels like to be right up against a truck's rated limit. Watching the temperature gauge, thinking twice about every incline. That margin between what your truck is rated for and what you actually need is a daily concern for a large portion of Silverado buyers. The new model is breaking the 14,000-pound towing barrier, and that margin is getting meaningfully wider. The platform is expected to be a revised version of the current T1 architecture, likely called T1-2, with improvements to structural rigidity and suspension calibration. The Silverado is sticking with a solid rear axle and leaf springs, preserving the payload capacity and stability that commercial buyers depend on. The ZR2's bumper and wheel openings are also being reshaped to fit factory 35-inch tires, directly closing the gap with the Ford Raptor and Ram TRX. That capability upgrade only matters if the engines behind it are worth trusting, and what GM has coming under the hood is a bigger story than most people realize. Release date and price. The 2027 Chevrolet Silverado is arriving sooner than many expected, with a full reveal coming later this year and first units landing at dealerships in the fall. This will be the most comprehensive Silverado overhaul since the fourth generation launched in 2018. The entry-level WT trim is expected to open at around $40,000, with mid-range LT crew cab models starting near $50,000 and top-tier trims like the High Country climbing north of $65,000. The plug-in hybrid's pricing hasn't been confirmed, but expected to carry a premium over standard options, while making a strong argument on long-term efficiency and running costs. The 2027 Chevrolet Silverado is shaping up to be the most complete version of this truck GM has ever built. A plug-in hybrid that doesn't ask for compromise. Brand new V8s backed by $888 million in development. A cabin that finally matches the price tag, and towing numbers crossing the 14,000-pound barrier for the first time. All wrapped in an exterior sharper and bolder than anything the Silverado nameplate has worn before.